Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to Korean Atlanta Mentorship. And in this video, we're going to cover a topic that's kind of uncomfortable to kind of talk about for a lot of people in society, but it's a topic that's just as old as time. So I don't know if you ever heard the phrase that prophets are not welcome in their hometown or prophets are ignored in their backyard, um, or they're unwelcome in their backyard. But I'll just kind of give you a quick explanation of what that means. So basically, if you're a person with knowledge, wisdom, or something to share with other people, you're probably going to receive open arms and welcome by complete strangers than by people who've known you or who've grown up with you, right? Especially people who are most similar to race and origin as you, right? So there's a lot of um, crazy dynamics that happen when you interact with your hometown, especially as an adult. Now, this happens in all races, in all countries, right? And I'm just kind of going to go over two examples here. So this one here, this is an article from 2018. And it says a disturbing trend: 15 rappers who were killed in their own hood, and apparently it's a big deal with rappers too. So let me just kind of read the first sentences. It says rap pioneer Gil Scott Heron's poignantly saying in his 1971 song "Home Is Where the Hatred Is" that his ghetto origin is filled with pain, and it might not be such a bad idea if I never went home again, right? And so what happens to a lot of these rappers is they make it big, right? And I don't know, for whatever reason, they go to their hometown and maybe they're just ignorant of that dynamic as well, or they think, hey, I made it big, so I come back to my hometown and people will embrace me with open arms, and then they get gunned down by someone from their hometown, right? Which is unfortunate. Now, I could just say from my own personal experiences, every time the biggest mistake that I ever made was to open my big fat mouth and ideas that I thought were good that aren't even mine. I don't even have original ideas um, in front of people that I've grown up with, and I really wish I'd learned to shut my mouth, right? Because I did not expect that people would be so opposed to me, and it's just not for me. I want to learn and grow with everybody else, right? But I kind of now understand, it's kind of like Squid Game, where if the other person grows, then you kind of feel that like somehow they're taking something away from you, which is not true. Like we all need to learn and grow together. I cannot get better unless I have other people who are just as good as me or even better, right? And I think that's why so much of our spiritual growth and mental growth is kind of stunted in society because it's always about being relatively better than absolutely better than other people. Now, so this is the first example of rappers, and I know you hear a lot of stories about rappers being killed in their hometown, but again, like I said, this happens to people of many races, other races too. I give you a Korean example too. This one right here, and this is an article from 2013. It says Korean American to reject uh, top Korean government job. So here's this guy right here, uh, uh, Kim Jong Un, and basically this guy founded a company in like early 2000s, sold it to Lucid Technologies for $500 million. So he's pretty balling. And then later on, he decides to give up his American citizenship, I think, so that he could work in a government job in South Korea. And then shortly after, uh, again, he had to give up his American citizenship because Korea doesn't allow dual citizenship. And then he went to Korea, and then shortly after, he resigned. And again, a lot of it is mostly due to political infighting, and probably because, and I can't say for sure because it's just my conjecture, but this is what I was thinking even like 10 years ago. Oh, this guy was a prophet, not valued in his hometown, right? But if you kind of take a look at the story here, he says, I left behind what I built in the United States to return home so I could devote the rest of my life to the country where I was born. But as I watched the confusion over the government reorganization bill, my dreams were shattered. And so it's a bill. So at that time, I don't know what happened, but there's going to be a new future creation and science ministry, which is just probably another bureaucratic organization that does nothing. And then so there's another political party that opposed that creation and basically was accusing him of being like some sort of American shill, right? And so funny comments, right? So basically, we got a comment here. What are you sorry about? We're sorry you wanted to devote your life for the motherland, give up your U.S. citizenship, wealth, and fame, but the assemblymen are arguing delaying the government reorganization bill for ridiculous reasons. You might as well be effing pissed off. The funny thing is, they praise you for being a Korean before you were a minister candidate. Now you've been nominated to be a minister. They're like, Yankee, go home. Wouldn't get pissed off, right? The opposition party should look in the mirror. He immigrated to U.S. when he was a middle school student, kept his Korean name so far, and they denigrate him for being a Yankee. And it goes on and on and on and on. And these comments are actually pretty funny, but some of the things that they say are inappropriate. And this is actually from a website called Korea Bang, which is kind of like almost like a tabloid Asian-esque website because I think they got one for Japan and China as well. But I think they stopped publishing, but for some reason they had the website on. But again, it's like kind of like what I said, like, hey, this guy can make it in the United States and make, I think he's a billionaire or maybe close to a billionaire, but he found a company, was able to sell for hundreds of millions of dollars, be successful. He comes back to his, to the motherland, and they just kind of waste his time to screw him over, right? And he's frustrated because he's actually trying to make the country better, and the opposing political party certainly doesn't want that. And to be honest, bureaucratic organizations don't spur change. Like government never really, in the history of society, governments usually don't innovate, right? But that's a topic for another discussion. But again, profit's not welcome in your hometown, and you kind of have to be aware of that dynamic, and you have to be careful who you share your ideas with, right? Are you sharing your ideas with random strangers? And I kind of want you to do a test on this, right? Share your ideas with random strangers, even on YouTube, and see the response you get versus the people you see in real life. And for whatever reason, there are one of the reasons I did YouTube is because I got really frustrated that I'm sharing ideas like velocity banking and in people I know in real life, and they're just looking at me like I'm the dumbest person on earth, right? And that was kind of like my frustration, where it actually caused me to create the YouTube channel, because again, no matter what I say, especially with the people that I know in my hometown, they ain't gonna listen. That's a sad dynamic. I'm gonna get random people who I don't know, and this has already happened, who are not even Korean, join a group called Korean Atlanta Mentorship. But the people that I've grown up with who are Korean are never going to join, I feel like, especially if they're Korean American. Now, I've gotten two Korean people whose first language is not even English, like, right? Their first language is Korean, to join the group. But Korean American, born in this, raised in this country, I feel like they will be the last type of people to join. Kind of sad, isn't it? And I hope I prove myself wrong, but that's just the dynamic out there, right? Dynamic as old as time. All right, so this is Korean Atlanta Mentorship. If you're interested in joining our group, go ahead and click the Google form link below. Otherwise, if you have any comments, questions, leave below as well. And if you don't have any of those, then hope you enjoy this video, and we will see you next time.